Good Saturday morning, everyone. How are you? It's very, I think balmy. Balmy is the word for the weather this morning, but I feel like it's gonna get kind of warm as the day goes on, but it's a very nice, crisp fall morning. Um, Yesterday morning, I did a video, a morning chit chat, and I couldn't get all the way through it because I got an important phone call that I had to take. And then I never was able to call you back and finish my story. And someone had put in the comments reminding me to please finish that story. I had to go back early this morning and watch that video to figure out what story I was telling you. But first of all, I want to tell you, wait a minute, I might have to roll that one down. It's always the traffic. I don't know if it bothers you. First, I want to tell you, oh, this is just wonderful. Okay, the call that I got yesterday during my video was a friend calling to say they were on their way to pick me up yesterday morning and follow me down to Garland to the garage to drop off my car and then bring me back home. Let me tell you, it was a little difficult to find someone to do that. I think yesterday I made it to VJ's live, and that was in the afternoon, and by then I was trying to nail someone down to take me back to Garland to get my car. And VJ mentioned maybe I could ask a church person. Well, we're not a very big church, and there's like 4 or 5, maybe 6 people from our church that live here in Wiley where I live, and that's including me. And people work, and they don't all work here in Wiley. And so that didn't work out. I mean, I had already been working on that and knew it wasn't going to work out because they may live here in Wiley. In fact, some live 3 minutes away from me. But like I say, they work. And not all of them work here in Wiley, and they can't just take off from work, to do me that favor. So, I'll back up. So I got a ride in the morning down there to drop off the car, and they told me it would take just about all day and that they close at 6 and it might be right up until that time. When it got to be about 4:30, I was still working on a ride, but I felt like I probably would have one. And I called down there and I asked them, I told them, I possibly will have a ride, but I may need to be dropped off there like an hour or half hour early. Do you mind if I just sit in the little waiting area and wait for my car? And they said, oh no, that's fine. And so, excuse me, during VJ's live, right before she went live, I had been walking the floors of my trailer calling on God to provide a ride. We have no cab, no bus, no train in Wiley, and Uber would have been $35 to $40, and I just couldn't pay that. I didn't want to pay that. And so the clock was ticking, and I was praying, God, you're never late, you're always on time, and you know the need for me to get down there to get the car, and then you know all the horrible traffic, and I just know you're going to work it out. And I just kept talking to the Lord like that. And then it was about 4:50, maybe even closer to 5, when I got a text saying it was from the same person that took me down there, that they'd be able to come by my place and bring me down there, drop me off. And that's what happened. God worked it all out. I forget what time my friend came by, but we got stuck in so much traffic, and that's where my car was, the garage. It's not an area that I know. And you have to really look for the place in the daytime, or you'll just drive by it and probably end up in Dallas. Imagine at night, because it gets dark early. And it was getting dark on our way down there. And when we got down there, it was dark. And we were talking and looking, I'm looking for the sign of the place. And we ended up driving right past it. Maybe we went about 2 blocks, 3 blocks. I mean, I'm watching for the place. My friend is driving and paying attention to the traffic, because we're in rush hour traffic. Lots of stop and go, and then red light and all this. And not everyone stops for red lights. Not everyone stops for stop signs. There's a lot to watch for. And yeah, we went past it, and we figured, when we came before, I don't remember passing that. No, we had to turn around. I know what time it was. It was 5:55 when the place called me and said, "Were you still going to come down here?" And I explained, "We're right somewhere near near you. We just got turned around." And they said, "Oh, no problem." So we made it there. And let's see. They were just finishing something on my car when we got there. And so my friend made sure everything was okay, and my friend came back to Wiley. I mean, he has a family, and I felt so bad. It was around people's supper time. I said, "I'm sorry you took time away from your family to do this for me." And he said, "Well, it's Friday, and we're probably going to order a pizza, and we usually eat later than most people. So, you know, I want to help a friend, and this is no problem." So I'm so thankful for that. Um, so they didn't get to fix everything, because there's only 2 mechanics there, and I already knew that it takes a while to get those belts off of my car and get to that water pump. But let me tell you, they fixed the water pump, brand new water pump, new alternator belt, new AC belt. They put a brand new cap on the radiator. I don't know what to look for. In 2 places, this place and the last place, both told me something was wrong with the cap of the radiator. Well, I just figured, if it goes on and stays on and screws off, what could be wrong with it? But evidently there was something wrong with it. Maybe there was a little crack in it, in the seal. I don't know, because I don't know what to look for. But after 2 different places telling me that there was a problem with it, and both places didn't know I had already taken it to the first place, which never told me nothing about the radiator cap, I trust that there was something wrong and it needed to be replaced. And so, water pump, radiator cap, alternator belt, air condition belt, and guess what they did? And I told them not to do it, but they did. They fixed my front rotors. Thank you, Jesus. The car actually stops now when I press on the brake. And I don't have that ching 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 noise, dragging chain sounding like noise I was hearing. Now I have to go back Tuesday morning, and they're gonna they disconnected the old thermostat and guaranteed that the car won't shut off because of all that brand new stuff. And I'll go Tuesday morning, and they'll put on my new thermostat that I had bought, and they'll fix the oil leak. They found out it's in the oil pan, and they ran out of time. But I'll go, and they'll do that Tuesday morning. And I'm going to bring a book, and I'll sit there. It'll be a little over 2 hours, they said. And they said I can just sit there. So let me tell you, I'm not going to get into right now the cost of everything. I will share it with you. But I just want to tell you that these people, I mean, it's all God, right? But God evidently put it on the owner's heart of this garage to really give me a break. They were told, how much money I was working with. And that's why when I dropped the car off in the morning, they had already told me Wednesday the rotors were bad, but I told them that's going to have to wait. And I said it again yesterday morning. Please don't have them do the rotors. That's going to have to wait, because this is how much money I have, which is not much. And I need to protect my engine because I need my car. So I need these things around the engine to be fixed. And, I'm not responsible for what God put on their heart to fix. God takes care of us. And I'm thankful that God moved on them to fix the rotors, because that is a big safety thing. And they were so good and so kind, and they're just working with my little budget that I have to fix these things. And I mean, I can't explain to you how wonderful God is when we live for him with all of our heart, and when we fully trust him. God works things out. He'll move on people's hearts, maybe that don't even know God. Maybe they don't even believe in God. And that matters to God. It really does, because there is a God. The Bible says the fool has said in his heart, there's no God. No one wants to be a fool, but God said it. You're a fool, whoever you are, that don't believe in him. But let me tell you, it can be someone that does not acknowledge God at all. And if you're a child of God, God can move on that person's heart to bless you, because that's what God does. I'm not saying these people don't believe in God. I don't know what they believe in. I'm just saying I know that God moved on their heart to fix these things with the little bit of money that I had. Hey, you know what those other garages were going to cost. And those people were kind people to me too. And so, going through this the last few weeks with my car, I have just kept my mind on God, like I taught the kids in my Sunday school class. And I told you that I felt like God dropped in my heart one day that he prepared me for this trial with this car when he gave me that Sunday school lesson for the kids. If you've not seen that video that I share that lesson, please go back and look for it. I'm wearing a white cap, and the title of the video is Put It On and Keep It On. Please go back and watch it and share it out, because it will, I believe, encourage someone. Not because I made the video, but because I feel like that Sunday school lesson, well, I know it was from God. And so I've had such peace through this trial with the car. I mean, right up until I need a ride, God. Time is ticking by and they're going to close. But oh, what peace I have, Lord. You've led me this far. You're going to lead me on the rest of the way. And God did. And there was, this is kind of, this is how things are. It seems like the same time that God is working things out, right? The old devil, old slewfoot, old liar, so many names we can call him, right? Hey, he pays attention to what God's doing, and he pays attention to how we're responding or how we're reacting. And if that devil can somehow work his way in to our thinking, which gets into our heart eventually, he'll do his best. He's roaming around, the Bible says, like a roaring lion. And so the same time that God is working all this out for me, right? Old devil's getting angry. Now, he doesn't know what God's going to do, because the devil is not all-knowing. Only God is. But the devil can see, hey, wow, God's working that out for him, and he doesn't know where the money's going to come from for this. He doesn't know if more parts are going to fall off. He don't know if he'll have a ride. Don't know that. But I'm watching him. I'm like a lion. And I'm watching Miguel. And he's just going on along worshiping the Lord and praising him by faith. And, sharing this on his YouTube channel, trying to encourage people. All that makes the devil really mad. It makes him roar even louder. So he wants to come in here and try to stir me up and stir other people up and try to, he's wasting his time, that old devil. But somebody went in to someone else's live. This happened days ago. I'm not going to name any names. I'm only sharing this to make you aware of how sneaky old Slewfoot is. And this is why you have to be connected to God. You have to be praying. You have to be in the Word. So I was not in that live, but they, what do you call that? Screenshooted don't sound right. Screenshot? Or took a picture of the comment, when you're in the live, that live chat. Somebody went into that live chat during that live. And they wanted to make a public service announcement about me, about my little channel that I'm striving for to get to 2K. Trying to do a video every day till 2K. I don't always get one out every day, but I'm making the effort. They want to come make a public service announcement about my little channel. Oh God, help whoever needs the fire trucks and the ambulance and the police. And so they made their public announcement in the live chat on that person's video, live streaming, warning people about me. I don't know if any of you saw it. They put out a warning about me that I was going up on people's panels and I was begging for money to fix the car and to buy propane for the trailer because that ran out. Now let me tell you, if that ain't the devil, what is? The devil is a liar. And that is just so sad that someone, I didn't even recognize the name when I got that screenshot of the person that made that comment. And so I don't know if any of you have seen that, if you were in that live, but anyone that's been following me knows I've not been up on anyone's lives since this whole car thing has gone on. I haven't been up there asking for any money or begging. They didn't say asking, they said begging. Hey, I don't have to beg. I'm a child of the King. When you're a child of the King, you don't have to beg. I don't beg. And I don't ask people. I ask God. God, please supply the need. If I had my funds, I'd be doing it myself, but God, supply. I ask God. The last time I was on someone's live was I was on Marianne the Crotchety Clogger's live with her and I's friend, and we were talking about syringomyelia and Chiari malformation mostly, and there was never any begging or asking for money on that live. You can go back on our channel and watch it. It was in September. And I've only been up on Ursula's live one time way back, and that was when I was taking a walk around the lake. I went up on there. I was probably there 2 or 3 minutes because of the connection that I had. And before that, one time I was on Lisa's live, Lisa from Canada, And that happened because I was going into Hobby Lobby, and I was in her chat, and I said I'm going into Hobby Lobby, and she asked me to go up on the live and show some of the yarn in there because, you know, they don't have that. And that was probably 2 minutes because the connection in that metal building cut me off. And those were way, way back. And so since the car issue and since the running out of propane, I have not been on anyone's panels talking about yarn or anything. So I don't know. I know where that thought came from. It came from hell, trying to stir up trouble. But I don't know why someone would want to seek me out. I'm just a little channel, and I'm not very exciting. I'm a boring channel and a wonky channel, and I don't know. But if, like I say, anyone that's been following knows better. But I've got some new subscribers, and if you're new, if you were in that other person's live when that got through the comments, I can assure you it's not true. And I don't know. I don't have an answer to why someone would want to do it. And the thing is, they didn't come over to my channel and write anything in any of the comments that I've been sharing with this card journey. They didn't come over and write like, why are you making these videos begging for money? They didn't put any kind of comment like that on my channel. They gave a public service announcement, which was a lie, on someone else's channel. So I'm going to tell you, I don't know, I guess the person watches my videos, or maybe not, but if the person's watching, it didn't bother me. It did not bother me. It made me feel, you know, merciful for you, because this is a wonderful platform. Just like anything can be used for good or bad. And this is a great platform for people to encourage people, for people to get connected. And this community is an awesome community. And so that lie that you tried to spread, it's not bothering me. I'm still doing my videos, and I'm still sharing this card journey because all the glory goes to God. I want people to know that God can work out any situation. Not one time since I've been sharing this card journey issue have I got up on here and been grumbling and complaining and woe is me, and oh, I'm feeling so depressed today because the alternator belt has a crack. No, not one time, because that's not me. It isn't me. I have enough of God in me that I can rise above anything. And I only share it because it's part of my life, and I'm calling up my friends just like I would do with just like I did with my friend that gave me a ride. I got this problem. I wonder if you could help me out. It's what you do when you have friends. You call them up and you share things. And that's what I do with my channel. And so that one that wanted to stir up a mess, I welcome you to join my channel. And maybe I can encourage you to seek after the Lord and, you know, let God help you to change your ways, and you could be a help to someone. I think that'd be wonderful. And so, yes, God is working it out, and I'm just so thankful. Now, oh, let's see. I might have to, trying to think now. I started a story yesterday, and then I couldn't finish it. I know what it was about. I did that Divine Stitch hat, and I did it in that Karen latte cake that I got a couple years ago at Michael's. And then somebody that I know wants me to make one, but not in that colorway, which is good because I just had enough left over from something else to make that hat. I know what I was saying was, I have a couple more cakes of that because I had bought them when they were on clearance a couple years ago. And um, oh, I was distracted by that guy. He got out of his truck. Oh, okay. Um, yes, so I need to find my other two Karen latte cakes and then show this person. And I hope that they will want their hat out of one of those, because this is what I was going to say. When I was in high school, I had a friend that I'm still friends with, and um, their mother crocheted and knitted and made wreaths. And for some reason, I think she made candles, but yet I really don't remember her making any, but I feel like she did. Well, she had gone to City Hall and got a permit to open up a little craft shop in her garage. You can't do that anymore back home, but back then you could. And and of course, you know, I've known those people so long, since I was a teenager, since freshman year. And through the years, you know, she had told me she was very business minded, and she would say, with the crochet, with her crochet and knitting stuff, as far as how she priced things and took orders, if she made something and had it in her little craft shop and somebody wanted that but not in that color, um, she would kindly tell them. She will look through, you know, her supplies, but if she has to go out and buy the particular color that they want, she's going to have to add a few more dollars to the price. And I think that that's right, because you're going out to spend money to buy that particular color that they want of the thing that you already have made, but they don't want that color and you don't have it in your stash. If you didn't have to go out and buy that particular color, well, you wouldn't be spending that extra few dollars. And so that's what I was saying, is that I hope these two Karen cakes that I have at home will be a colorway that this person would like their divine hat. If not, if I have to go to Michael's and buy one, they're $12.99, unless I can get it on a week where there's some kind of deal, or I do have a teacher's discount, 15%, and sometimes I get a 40% coupon on any regular price thing, or sometimes it's a 20% coupon, and they will also use my teacher's discount with it. So I do get a certain percent off, but it would still be more convenient if they would like one of the colorways that I have. And if not, I'll have to, you know, add a few more dollars to the final price of the hat. I have not given the person a price on the hat yet, so that's a good thing. Now, the hat that I showed was a gift for someone that just went through cancer, and she lost all her hair through that treatment, but she's got to ring the bell. Hallelujah, she's cancer free. And she does wear hats. In the summer she wore really nice sun hats, but she wears a headscarf, you know, so that the material of even those sun hats aren't directly on her head. She wears a headscarf and then puts that hat on. And so you know that latte cake yarn is so soft. I think 52% acrylic and 48% nylon, or I might have it reversed. But when I dropped it off at this lady's mother's house Thursday, the mother thought it felt like cashmere. She said, "Oh, it's just so soft." Well, the lady I made it for went yesterday and picked it up, and she loves it. And in fact, her and her family are going on vacation next week, and she wanted to go pick it up so she could have it with her. You know, if it gets cooler where they're going, she could put it on. But she loved it. So that one was a gift for her. And but I've made that pattern many times. I love it. I don't have a hard time with it. I know some people do. It's just like that virus shawl pattern. I made one virus shawl I hope I never make another one. Um, I didn't enjoy it, and I had trouble at the beginning, but then I caught on and I finished that one. Was for a gift a couple years ago. But other people just love that. That's what makes us all different, you know? So that was the end of that story. I know I'm kind of all over the place. I'm trying in my mind to categorize, talk about the car, God's provision, God's blessing, talk about the not so nice person, but I'm praying for them that they turn their life over to God. Finish the story that I started yesterday, and I'm trying not to run out of time. Oh, it says 30 minutes, but it's still running. Um, Lady Jane, I looked her over this morning. She wouldn't let me catch her, and I didn't want to stress her out and make her run, especially with that bad foot. But she was close enough to me that I could look her over, and I thought I saw some new feathers coming in, which is good because I've had her over 5 years, and they all molt, you know, during certain type of year. I don't ever remember her molting this much and looking this bad, so I was getting a little concerned. Are there any new feathers coming in yet? And this morning I thought that I saw what looks like some new feathers, and that's a good sign. And she's been drinking that water that has some electrolytes in it, so that will help her get a little strength. Well, I guess I'll go. I'm out because I needed to get dog food, and I want to try to vacuum some of this car today. At least if I get the front vacuumed, the floor and the seats and in between, I'll feel better. It's just really hard with my spinal cord to get under the seat and between the seat. I may even have to just like do this side today, vacuuming, and then that side. Sometimes I have to break up my chores like that. So I hope that you will rejoice with me over how God's taking care of this car, and God's going to take care of the butane or propane, whatever you want to call it. I call it propane, some call it butane. God's going to take care of that too. And I mean, it's just wonderful life to trust the Lord. How can you can't go through a little bit of trial and testing and and then say, oh, God is so faithful. If everything went well all the time and you never had to go through a hard time to learn how to trust him, I don't know. Like I said the other day, once I get through this trial, I'm looking forward to the next one, because it just shows how strong and mighty God is. And every trial, if we allow it, every trial draws us closer to God. And we want to be close to him, don't you? I want to be close to God. I want to be like Enoch. You know Enoch in the Bible? He didn't die. It said Enoch walked with God and God took him up. He was just out walking one day, probably like I do around the lake, talking to God, and God said, well, come on up, Enoch. And God took him up. What if I was walking around the lake one day when I'm talking to you and God called me up? Wouldn't that be something? Hey, God could do it. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. That sunshine is feeling mighty good. And have a good day, everyone. And remember to be kind to everybody, because somebody's having a bad day. All right?